So this is a self-shot video, which means I'm officially in conspiracy theory mode. I'm wearing my tinfoil hat. The problem is it's about the Clintons. And it's never conspiracy theory when you're talking about the Clintons. It's always very much within the realms of possibility. If you came to me and told me that Hillary Clinton ate the children of space aliens, I wouldn't necessarily dismiss it out of hand. So full disclosure, I believe the Clintons capable of anything. But this actually isn't a conspiracy theory about the Clintons. So there's a lot going on right now. Obviously, unless you're living under a rock, you know that Hillary Clinton appeared, I think it was a lie, but she appeared to be cruising towards an easy election. Polls were supposedly all in her favor. That was never going to last. The polls were always about pumping up her base and suppressing the Republican base. They were always fake. And so they were the news media was always gonna have to bring them back down to earth before the election anyway to save credibility. But they weren't expecting this giant FBI release of or this admission, this Comey letter. The letter Comey, the FBI director, wrote to Congress saying that they'd found 650,000 emails on Huma's computer that they hadn't seen before. Which, by the way, that's a big deal. There should have been instant indictments. Huma sweared under oath that she didn't have any emails hidden, that she'd given up all of her documents, that she didn't have any computers that she'd been holding back or anything. Right off the bat, Huma should be arrested right now, and most likely Hillary immediately thereafter. But shadow of a doubt, Huma Abedin should be in handcuffs and under federal indictment at this very moment. But then something really interesting happened. It's all really interesting. It always is. The Obama administration, through their spokesman, Josh Earnest, kind of backed up Comey. All of the Democrats are excoriating this guy, and screaming and yelling and calling him dirty names, and how could he do this? But Obama kind of backed him up a little bit, and legitimized the whole thing, which brought up an old thought I'd had months ago. I'd been thinking about this back around July or so, when this all sort of got settled the first time, right when the FBI was investigating the emails, and right before Comey came out and said there was nothing to indict her over but carelessness. At that point, I was thinking that Obama really wants her to get elected, wants to win the election, not to secure his legacy, not because he's this loyal Democrat. He's not. He thinks the Democrats are far too conservative for him, and he's a narcissist, and the only thing he's interested in is him. But so he could get Hillary elected, and then have his bought and paid for puppet Department of Justice, Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch now, indict her right away. Indict her and arrest her between the election and the inauguration. And now you've got a constitutional crisis. And what do? And, oh, by the way, here I am, the most popular president in history. A lie. But, they have their poll numbers. I'll just stay in office. We'll just delay an inauguration until we have a president, Now, I'm sure constitutional scholars and lawyers and smarty pants will come out and say, oh, there's no way, there's this process set in place. Even if that happened, even if she was indicted or arrested in between the election and the inauguration, there's a system in place for who would take office. Maybe. I haven't been able to find it. But surely there's chaos would ensue, utter chaos, and anything can happen in those kind of situations. So this is my conspiracy theory. Obama wants Hillary to win the election, but he only wants Hillary to win the election because then he sees a path for him to remain in power, which is indict Hillary, get her arrested, and either trade a pardon for some influence or position, or try to see how much he can stay in power. I don't know. It's interesting. The fact that he kind of legitimized Comey and Comey's actions quietly to the side. I mean, what he did was he sort of preserved his ability to maneuver by not blasting Comey, not blasting the process. It allows him to respond later in any way he deems necessary. He pretty much just declared his neutrality in this whole thing, his public neutrality. Behind the scenes, like I said, he wants this woman to win the election so he can arrest her, and then look for some way to turn it to his own advantage. Don't know what that is yet. We'll see. Like all conspiracy theories, I could be completely wrong. I frequently am completely wrong, but I don't think so this time. I never think so. This one's pretty extreme. I know we're talking about a coup, basically. Yeah, I mean we're talking about a coup, or I'm talking about a coup, perpetuated by the elected president of the United States. That's a big deal, and that's pretty far-fetched. But I don't know that anything is off the table anymore. We're at the point where a civil war is almost inevitable anyway. Everyone knows this. Each side has gone as far as they can go. The left has pushed things as far as the right will go along. There has to be a split and a divorce here at some point. You're not going to be able to keep this thing together any longer, or much longer. So there it is. Keep an eye out for it. If Hillary wins the election, very interesting things could be afoot. No matter who wins the election, very interesting things will be afoot. But if Hillary wins, it could get very interesting very quick. Thanks, guys.